Hello my lovelies, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who do not know me, my name is Jamie. Today we are going to be going through all of the anticipated releases that I am looking forward to for the beginning of next year. We're going to be covering from January all the way up till the end of June. Since I won't be focusing on a list as much, these will be mostly just for leisure. If I get to them, awesome. If not, no big deal. These are authors that I have either read before, looking forward to their next one in the series, or just ones that I'm really, really interested in. There's not very many of those. Majority of these will be ones that I have read from before and that I would highly recommend reading at least at some point. Without further ado, let's dive into the first one. I have 20 books total on this list. Alright, so the first one on this list is The Trip. This is by Audrey J. Cole. I tried getting to a few of her books this year and I just didn't have the time to get around to it. This one, it's not really a part of a series, so that's why I'm leaning more towards this one this year, which is coming out on January 6th. So very, very soon, pretty much almost exactly a month from when I'm filming this. This is going to be more like a I Know What You Did Last Summer type of story. I don't know if it's going to have the same outcome. I don't know. I've never really watched much of those. We're following 5 different people. They went all on a cruise 20 years ago, and one of them did not make it out. So, flash forwarding to another cruise, it turns into a literal fight for their lives. So, it's very interesting. I am definitely scared of the water. I did not do well on my first cruise. I have a feeling that this is going to make that fear even worse from what I just read. Moving on to the next one, we have My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. This is coming out in January 20th. I've been seeing this on NetGalley. I've seen a few people say they've already read it. I know it's definitely out there. I'm very much looking forward to reading this. I actually thought this story, when I first heard about it, was really, really interesting. Apparently, this is about Eden. She has just returned home from doing an art expedition. She's got her final big break and enjoying it. She arrives home to find that someone else answered the door, and it's another woman. So her husband tells her, this is my wife. And this woman, Eden, is just like, what? No, it's not. So someone's lying. Who is it? I am very much looking forward to figuring out the weird scenario that she has going on for this one. I didn't exactly love Beautiful Ugly, but I did love the beginning up until we started getting to the ending and how we resolved everything. It was very far-fetched. So I'm hoping that this one is not like that. So our next one is Half His Age. This is by Jeanette McCurdy. She's the same author who wrote I'm Glad My Mom Died. I recently read that this year, and once I heard that she was coming out with her first fiction novel, I'm like, I gotta hop on the bandwagon for this one. I'm very much looking forward to it. The story, however, Half His Age, which comes out January 20th, is supposed to be like another variation of My Dark Vanessa. So it's a very interesting first name, actually, Waldo. Waldo, it's a very unique first name. I will give her that. She is basically fallen for her creative writing teacher, who is married and has kids. So I think this is going to be another revamp of My Dark Vanessa. This may just be from all of Waldo's perspective and how she feels about him, why she's condoning, knowing it's wrong, and everything like that. So I'm hoping it's the same thought-provoking process as it gave me from My Dark Vanessa. Probably going to be equally disturbing, so I am prepared for that. But this, I am very much looking forward to. Alright, next coming out on February 10th, we have Warning Signs by Tracy Sierra. Tracy Sierra, I did also read, I believe this year, if not, it was last year, Night Watching, which was way, 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 way creepy, and it creeped me out and gave me probably nightmares for about 2 to 3 days. This one is about a father and son. The father decides he wants to take his son on a business ski trip that, they're having. And when they get there, and there's the first night there, his son sees something in the snow. Can't tell what it is. All he knows is that it's just a monster. So I'm very curious to see where we go with it, and if I'm definitely going to get creeped out like I did her first book, or we'll see. But considering this is only her second book, I don't have like super high expectations, but her first book blew me away. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how we do with this one. Next up, coming in March, because I only have one for February, for March 10th, we have Once and Again by Rebecca Serle. I actually have the Neck Alley book of this. I tried reading it last month. I just didn't get around to it. I'm hoping that I can get a hold of it before March. More than likely I will. We'll see. This story is about a lady named Lauren. She is married. Her husband actually has a trip that he has to do in New York. So she decides to move back with her mother in Malibu. So the thing about Lauren's family, because I did know that Rebecca Serle likes writing magical realism as well as, YA romance. This one, Lauren's side of the family, her mother's, they have the ability to turn back time once and only once. Her mother used it to save her husband, prevent him from being in a deathly car accident, and her grandmother just hints at whatever she used it for. Lauren, when she moves back, she basically reunites with someone who had broken her heart before. So now she's debating, are there things I would have done differently? I am very curious to see where we go with this. Hopefully, the synopsis didn't exactly give away the whole book, but we'll see. But Lauren's already married and she's faced with that kind of a situation. I am very curious to see where she goes with that. All right, next up, also coming out on March 10th, is probably one of my favorite young adult writers, and that is Kiersten White's The Fox and the Devil. This one really, really interests me because this is going to be a vampire-based story. This is about, I don't know if you pronounce her name, Enki? It's a very unique name, so we'll just roll with Enki. She is the daughter of Abraham Van Helsing, and he gets brutally murdered one night, and she only sees a woman standing over his body, and she never sees her again afterwards. She is out for vengeance, so she gets people together and starts hunting. So this is supposed to be a vampire story. I don't know if it's YA or adult. To me, it doesn't matter. I will probably let you guys know when it actually comes out. Next one is actually from an author that I recently read for the first time this year, and by recently, I mean last month. C.D. Druce's a new book coming out on March 17th, You Did Nothing Wrong. This story is apparently about Elodie? Yeah, Elodie. And she has a husband, a baby on the way, and a son. They are starting to do renovations on their house, and the husband literally feels like they're hurting the house. And not only is she having reservations about that, but she's also questioning her son. In what way? I have no idea. They didn't really allude to that. But needless to say, I am very intrigued, and this is supposed to be her adult debut horror novel, so very, very interested. On March 31st, we have a very beloved author, especially the last 2 years. From the author of The Spell Shop, Beth Durst, she is coming out with The Faraway Inn. Apparently, this is one of her YA novels. I am very much looking forward to this one because it allures to the fact that it has magical realism or magic-related things in here, but it's not obvious. So this is about Calissa. She is going to stay with her grandmother, who she thought has a B&B, but in reality it's an inn, and it's very, very run down. Grandmother is very, very irritable. She doesn't want the help, but she decides to help anyway and starts fixing up the inn, and then she starts noticing little things that are, in her words, otherworldly. Very much looking forward to this. I love The Spell Shop. I'm hoping to read The Enchanted Greenhouse sometime this upcoming year. If not, I would at least like to read this one that's coming out. We have an indie author pick from Miss Cait Elise. It is coming out on March 20th. I am super excited for this because I absolutely love Player and the Pop Star. This is The Safety and the Secret. This is, instead of being between a football player and a pop star, this is about a football player and a cheerleader. So very much forbidden because cheerleaders cannot date football players. In case you did not know that, they are not allowed to date. So I didn't even want to read anything about it. That alone to me was enough. I didn't want to read about anything. I didn't want to read about circumstances, none of that. All I needed was forbidden, player, and a cheerleader. That's it. I'm very much looking forward to this. I will probably be there the minute it's released on KU. Alright, next up, starting with April, we have The Girls Trip by Ali Condie. Ali Condie has recently started making adult novels, and I was absolutely here for this one is about Hope, Ash, and Caro. They are all going on a girls trip to a national park to get away from the world for a little bit, and then all of a sudden one of them vanishes. Very curious. I did really like her murder mystery one last time, so I'm very interested in what she has to offer this year. Next on the author book that I have is by Deanna Gray. This is coming out on April 10th, believe it or not, my birthday. I'm excited because this is a very interesting romance story. This one is called They Wouldn't Dare. This is about a boy and a girl in high school. She didn't really say the names, so I'm just gonna say he, she. He actually is very much of a, I wouldn't say a bully, but aggravating and very self-absorbed. He dares her to do all these little things in high school, like skip class and do this with whoever or whatever. And the older they get, the more serious the dares are. So this latest one is he dares her to be his. I stopped reading after that because I am hooked already. Let's see what she does and see where they go from there. Rainbow Rowell is coming out with Cherry Baby. This is definitely going to be sad, and I am very hesitant, but also very here for it. Most of her books are sad. I hate to say that, but they have some sad element mixed in with them somewhere. This one in particular is about Cherry and Tom. Tom is a webcomic artist who decides to create a character who looks exactly like Cherry. And Cherry is very heavy set, a little overweight in some way, and he made a webcomic about her as Baby. So he's getting all this fame for this webtoon that he created, and she is stuck with people recognizing her for something she didn't even want. She didn't even know about it until she saw it. I would be furious. I would be absolutely positively furious if this happened to me. So where she goes with this, probably more about self-acceptance and dealing with all these issues. So many things are just wrong in this scenario. But I am definitely here for it, and I will be 100% waiting for it. It's been a NetGalley book for a very long time, actually for a couple months. I even tried getting a hold of it at one point, but there were too many people, so I didn't get it. This next one I actually have already read, but I am here to tell you guys about it because I think you definitely should pick it up. This is Mabel. This comes out on April 21st by Sally Hepworth. This book is about two different timelines. We have Mabel. We get her storyline when she was a child, and then we flash forward where she is an old woman. So as an old woman, she is dealing with her neighbor who unfortunately just recently passed away. He was dead on his kitchen floor, and Mabel was the one who found him. And everybody is suspecting that she's the one that did it. Her childhood, we're discovering some of the secrets that she had to deal with. A lot of her family was back and forth. Some of it was great, and a lot of bad moments, specifically dealing with her father. And everything dealing with her mother was horrific. And we move forward with her childhood story and how they both interconnect. I absolutely loved this. This was in the 4 range for me. Definitely give it a good go. I liked it a lot better than The Mother-in-Law. She really picked up on her storytelling and making it entertaining the whole time instead of just having boring parts in between the good parts. Really, really good. So I highly recommend you read this and put it on your to-be-read list. All right, hopping into May. We have about 3 books that are coming out in May that I positively cannot wait for. 2 of them because they are iconic to me. Cannot believe they're coming out with another one this year. First up is Change of Plans by Sarah Dessen. We have not had a Sarah Dessen book release in years, like almost 10 years. So for me, this is huge. I absolutely love Sarah Dessen. I have a bunch of her books on my shelf right here. Love her. I love her stories because they always have an underlining issue that I think is very valid. This one, dealing with a girl named Finley. Her and her mother are going to a family home that she did not know about and meeting most of her family that she has been separated from for her whole life. Her mother cut ties. So not only are we getting that plot line where we're figuring out what happened with their mother, but also she has a boyfriend back home who basically is the controlling of her life. She doesn't really do anything that gets out of the ordinary. You know, they have most of their friendships together, things like that. So things for her really start to take a turn on that end as well. I am very much looking forward to seeing where she goes with this one. I love the last one that she came out with, Rest of the Story. It's another summer-based romance where you go away for the summer and basically have your entire life changed. I cannot wait for this. Also coming out on May 5th, Lauren Oliver has another book coming out, and I cannot wait for. This is apparently the first in a series that she's making, which would definitely be a first, since the Delirium series or the Replica series. It's first in a while. This one is called The Girl in the Lake. This is a story about Cait. She is a perceptual consultant for a university. She is tasked with consulting this 6-year-old girl. Now, 20 years ago, Cait had lost her friend Becca unexpectedly, and she never figured out what happened to her. This 6-year-old, she's having nightmares with circumstances that line up almost exactly with Becca's story and believes that she has been reincarnated from Becca. So I think the story is going to take a turn of figuring out what happened with Becca and moving forward with what to do about this 6-year-old girl who is literally having nightmares about her friend's disappearance. Very interesting. I don't think she's written anything like this before, and I'm very curious to see where we go from here. On May 12th, we have a Veronica Roth book coming out that is the first in a series. I haven't read When Among Crows yet. I do fully intend on reading that duo as well. But this one I'm very curious about. Not only is the cover beautiful, this is called Seek the Traitor's Son. This story is about Elegie. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. We'll just roll with it. She is basically a defender for her city. There is a fever that spreads throughout their world, and whoever is blessed by this fever and survives actually gets blessed with gifts. This scenario, she is to hear a prophecy. It's between her and one of the most ruthless generals. One of them is supposed to lead a victory over the other, but they don't know which, and they don't know which one is going to fail. So there's a lot of stress there. I don't know what she's going to do with the story. I didn't want to read any further into it. It's already hooked me. I actually am very much looking forward to trying Veronica Roth again. I have not read any of her books since Divergent, and to be honest, I only read the first 2 books. I didn't even read Allegiant, and I didn't even want to see the movie. So I'm curious to see from Divergent how far we've come as far as her as a writer. On May 19th, we have another author that is writing her second book, Good Joy, Bad Joy by Mikki Brammer. She wrote The Collected Regrets of Clover. I really enjoyed that. That's about a story of a girl who is a kind of like a death guru. She sits with people right before they're about to die just so they won't be alone. This story is about Joy. She has discovered that her friend, her best friend, only has a little while left to live. And she is the adventurous one of the group. She's always doing crazy things. And Joy is more the reserved, very cautious type. So she figures if she's going to lose her friend, she is going to go out the way her friend wants to go, and that is getting crazy. So, about friendship, more than likely about grief. I feel like this one's going to be a tearjerker. I'm very interested in to see what kind of things they get into. Very adventurous things. But also, it's a story about, who are we meant to be, or is this going to change who I am as a person for the better or the worse? And they're in like their late 80s, so they're not young and they're not middle-aged. They're like the older spectrum. Also coming out May 19th, we have another Jeff Zentner book coming out. I love Jeff Zentner. I've read at least 3 of his books, and I fully intend to bring him to 0 because he is such a great writer. The next one he has coming out is called Wayfarers. We don't really have a synopsis of this one yet. He is writing it with another author. I know nothing about it, but it's from Jeff Zentner, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing what he writes about next. This next one I am actually super excited about because this is a continuation of the Midnight Library type of world. On May 26th, we are getting the Midnight Train. This is supposed to be very similar to the Midnight Library in terms of looking back on your life. But this one is a story about a man who has the opportunity to get on the midnight train and stop anywhere in your timeline that you've lived, and if you would do anything differently. It's not like the library where you can look at different variations of your life and then you get to stay in one if you want to be a part of it. This one is you have a chance to go back and change something, and where you go from that is where you go. Very interesting premise, but I love the Midnight Library, and I am excited to see where we go with this one, especially if this is going to be like a continuing series about people changing their lives. Last but not least is a book that I am super excited is finally coming out. Nicola Yoon, Angie Thomas, Tiffany D. Jackson, and 2, I believe, other authors are writing Breakout. This is another collected works by these authors who come together to give different stories about different YA characters, about friendship, betrayal, lies, love, everything. All taking place, I believe, in Florida. So that will be very interesting. I know at least one of the stories is in Florida. If it's multiple stories or if we're just getting different perspectives from different friend groups, I don't know. That's part of the charm about these various author books. Regardless, I am almost done with Nicola Yoon. I only have 2 other books by her. Those are all 20 books that I am looking forward to from January to June. So excited for all these authors. I've read majority of these before, if not all of these authors before, and I am super excited to see where we go with them and their ideas and all these different kinds of stories that I'm very much looking forward to. A lot of YA as well, I'm noticing. If I left a book out that you guys are looking forward to, definitely let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to add them to my list as well. But these are just some of the big highlights that I'm looking forward to. A lot of authors are making a comeback or creating new books in a series. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. That'll help me give you guys more videos every week. And you will be able to see any new Bookmas videos that I come out for the remainder of the 12 days of Christmas. Until then, love your reads and drink your teas. And I'm going to go read some more. Bye!